and self-love and self-confidence looks like. And when you're prioritizing yourself, you're showing your kids that, look, I can love you and dedicate all of my life to you, but I'm still a person and I come first as far as priorities. Because if I don't put myself first and I don't take care of myself, I cannot possibly take care of anybody else in the way that, as most moms, like, we want to show up for our kids and we want to be excited for our kids. And the idea that self-care equates to being a bad mom, it's just a complete lie. Like I said, you're modeling self-love, you're modeling self-confidence and self-care, and you're showing them that, we can make ourselves a priority and love other people and show up for other people. And that's something that really carries through for their entire lives. Because I know from personal experience, my mom did not put herself first. She really sacrificed a lot, and it reflected into her parenting, hindsight looking back on it. And there was a lot of seeking validation from other areas and never being okay with herself. And that's what I found myself doing prior to becoming a mom. So when I was able to look back on that, I realized, okay, no, taking care of yourself is giving your kids the best version of you, like the best version of yourself.
Yeah. And it's modeling self-care for them.
Exactly. And there's so much research showing that the happiness of a mom directly impacts kids and their development, not just physically, but academically, cognitively. There's so much connection with that. And I'm a science girly. And once I learned that, I was like, okay, you know what? This is research-backed stuff that I need to be taking care of myself, and I need to be putting myself first. And that it's okay.
That study said, like, not finances, it's not the neighborhood, it's not the job, and it's not the school they're in. Right. It was like above all else, it's the happiness of the mom and how what is happiness? Right. What not like a happy moment. What is happiness in general? It's not like it's going to require consistency in how I show up for myself. And it's interesting because I talk to people about how we are constantly telling dads and telling women who are like partnered with dads, let that man watch football. Let him go out with his friends. Oh, he needs a break. He's been working all day. And mom is like, I also worked all day and I'm taking care of the kids a lot. And I'm handling the logistics and operations of everything and putting everything on a calendar. And I didn't even get to eat today. I don't know if I drank any water at all. Right. I don't think I saw the sunshine because I don't think I went outside.
Right.
Why did anyone say, let mom have a, you know what I mean? Like, why isn't that balanced?
I really hate the comparison of moms versus dads, especially in the sense of like competing with each other. And, dad stayed home with the kids all day so that you could go out and go grocery shopping. But moms also majority of the time carry the mental load of the entire family. Because my boyfriend is a great partner and great dad, but he does not understand the mental load that I carry for the family. It's, even just in regards to scheduling doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, he's capable, but I carry that. And so I think comparing moms and dads is really apples and oranges. And, it's not to say anybody's job is less important, but I think it's important to remember that, it takes communication on both ends. To say what you need. And once you start opening up those channels of communication and tell your other half, hey, I need 10 minutes to just go get ready in peace. And then they can feel a little more open to coming to you and saying, I need 10 minutes to go outside and just be away from everybody right now. And like knowing that that's okay. It's okay to do, because everybody needs to be caring for themselves.
Yes. And again, when they see that communication happening with their parents, that's a good model, because then they're able to say, you know what, mom, I think I just need 10 minutes. Can I go play for 10 minutes? Or can I go to my sensory corner for 10 minutes? Or can I just go like sit outside on the porch while it's raining? Like something like that. I remember growing up with my grandma, we would sit outside on the porch like when it stormed, and it was so, oddly enough, like very peaceful. And I started to do that. Like, I'm like, I have to have a balcony, because I remember like sometimes I just needed that moment of peace. And it was a way that I took care of myself, right? I got that from her, from like being a child, you know? And so, so I love that. And I love how you said, like, we don't need to be competing against each other. We're on the same team. Just as dad needs a break, mom does too. And if we would communicate that, we would know that. And when you have a good partner, that won't be weird for them. They'll be like, okay, yes. And is the 10 minutes enough, right? Okay, you're going to take 10 minutes now, but like, do you need more, right?
Yeah.
Like, do we need to plan and put on the calendar, like, for you to get more time? I have a couple friend here, and there are times where like dad sends mom away. She goes to get a hotel room. She's gone for the whole weekend. He handles it. And I'm like, oh, please. It's beautiful because she'll post about it like after it happened, and she's like, "Y'all, I didn't do anything. Like, I got room service. I laid in that bed. Oh my gosh, I had a good time doing nothing." And I'm like, both parents need that. And then sometimes kids need to go away with somebody so parents can do that together, right? So all of that comes into your self-care and happiness. Like, we miss the social piece of that too, where it's not. I remember people being like, "Oh yeah, let's do a play date," and I was like, "No, I don't actually want a play date, because at the play date, we're also paying attention to our kids. I want to hang out with you. Like, I want adult social time, because that's self-care too. Even if it's 30 minutes over coffee, right? Or we have to do it virtually. Like, you know, my best friend and I will do daddy daycare. So like her 5 kids and my 2 kids, and like her dad, her husband and his dad, like, they handle it.
Yeah.
And so one day we were out for a long time.
I love that. I love that. That's so great. I started going and just getting coffee with friends, because I don't have, you know, every mom says we don't have time, and the evening routine I feel like for everybody is the busiest time of the day. Like, you run out, it's just, time flies, and suddenly the plans that you made, it's 8:00 and you're exhausted and you're like, I don't want to go anywhere. So like, getting coffee with a friend has been my go-to recently, because I can bring my little baby and he can sit there and hang out, and I can still have an adult conversation. And then I FaceTime one of my best friends all the time, because I'm like, I don't need to isolate myself. When I'm feeling in the dumps, I can take it into my own hands and reach out to people and just say, like, I'm feeling awful. Let's talk, you know, and just talk about nonsense. And I think that's a huge mental hurdle for a lot of moms to get past, because of the societal norm that we're not supposed to feel this way. We're supposed to just handle it all with a smile.
Yeah. Asking for help is huge. And not trying to be a superwoman.
Right.
So let's get practical. Let's share some practical self-care strategies with mamas. So what are some small but meaningful ways that moms can start prioritizing themselves, especially for those who feel overwhelmed and they don't know where to start?
So my biggest tip would be to focus on your basic human needs. Like, you know, I think we get wrapped into this idea that self-care needs to equate to a 12-hour spa day, or, you know, going on a weekend trip or something. But truly, we need to start, you know, we don't have time. We don't have the help, you know, so we need to start focusing on what we can control on a very, very, very simple level. So taking care of your basic human needs, getting up and getting ready for the day, if that makes you feel good. Drinking enough water, staying hydrated throughout the day, because we don't do that nearly enough as moms. Making sure that we're fueling our bodies with things that make us feel good. I know that a lot of my personal struggle when I was a new mom in 2021 was I was kind of eating, not really drinking anything besides coffee. I was just ruining my gut. I was anxious and shaky and dehydrated and having all these stomach issues and truly not taking care of myself. So my biggest tip would be to focus on these small things. Start taking care of your body, taking care of yourself, because those things reflect into your mental health. It's not the end all be all. It's not the cure all, but it does reflect into your well-being and in turn into your parenting. The next time, and you know what? None of this stuff requires any pre-planning or finding a babysitter or, like trying, the most communication you do is if you want to quickly do your hair, you tell your other half like, hey, I'm just going to do my hair. It's going to take me 10, 15 minutes, whatever it may be. So I think starting there and knowing that making those small steps is actually making a huge impact in your life and in your ability to parent your kids.
Yes. I love that it's simple. It's the small things that you mentioned that add up, like taking deep breaths in before you like make a decision or transition to the next thing, or even in the midst of your kids maybe misbehaving, take a deep breath so you can get back in the moment and you can think. Like, right? Yeah. Hydration is so huge. Sleep, like prioritizing your rest too, mom. I do my skincare routine in the morning, so I just get up like 5-10 minutes before the kids, and I get to take care of myself before someone immediately needs to be taken care of. Or I've started drinking my mushroom coffee. I had some content before I switched to like trying not to be fueled by caffeine. I would make like protein coffee, and it was my thing. My kids would eat breakfast, like they would eat their like cereal or whatever, and their like freeze dried fruit on Saturday mornings, and I would sit at the table in front of them, and I would like soak up the 10-minute moment of just like slowly sipping on coffee while they did whatever they were doing. That was my thing, so yeah.
And with that, taking those small moments, even if it's, you're with your kids and you're just, like you take your kids outside because everybody's kind of losing their mind inside. So you take everybody outside. Don't look at your phone. Just look up at the sky, take in the moment, see things around you, ground yourself a little bit. What can you see, feel, hear, because we don't realize how much we're disconnected from just the world. And it's those little things when you can kind of draw yourself a little closer to nature and just like be filled with gratitude for it, that it really clears your mind and helps you to kind of stay a little more leveled throughout the day when you feel like you just want to get out of control.
Yeah. One thing I do too is play. Just put the phone down and play with your kids. Even if the food's in the oven, set the timer and like play with them.
Oh my gosh,
I couldn't play enough as adults.
I could talk about this forever because I completely agree. It's like, and play can be so stringent sometimes with kids, like it's so fun to just sit back and be with your kids, but not direct them at all. Let them play. One thing I heard when I was a newer mom was there's no wrong way to play. If your kid is playing with a triangle and, doing something that you wouldn't typically do, there's nothing wrong with that. No. They're learning their world and you're just along for the ride. So don't try to correct it. Don't try to guide them. Just let them play. And I really love that.
And it's a good part of learning. Like I think for our generation of parents, we are just like being told that everything has to be structured. Everything is a learning moment. But like everything in learning is not a classroom, right? We're learning all the time as we're moving through life. And so we don't want to take that exploration away from our kids. And so just like watching my kids play, watching how they invite me to play. And then, you hear my favorite sound, even before I was a parent, was like kid giggles. And my best friend knows that. So she'll randomly send me a video of like a kid giggling online. And it like makes my day. And so listening to my kids just like laugh and, Thank you for checking out Uncaped Mama, where I help mamas balance parenting, happiness, and healing. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.